6 miles. I said Bethlehem is on the map, 6 miles south of Jerusalem, in the church, in the site of the Church of the Holy Nativity. You know.
In Palestine.
That's right. You know, you're old enough to know Palestine when it was on the map. Then
Yes.
they erased it from the map, and they created what's called the West Bank and Gaza Strip. They drove the Palestinians out of these villages and towns. They erased them from the map. They erased the villages
They
and
erased
towns.
them from the map.
Yes, 450 towns and villages that were erased from the map, and they drove the Palestinians out. They were driven out. They were driven out, and they to refugee camps in the Gaza Strip, in Lebanon, in Jordan. You know, Transjordan at that time, Syria, Egypt too, and on the West Bank. There are many refugee camps on the West Bank till today. It's all under what's called the UNRWA, operated by the UNRWA, United Nations Relief and Works Agency for the Relief of the Palestinian People, that was created in 1949 to aid the creation of the state of Israel in 1948, and its acceptance in the United Nations was conditional, provided they allow the return of the Palestinian refugees to their homes and towns. And this till today never happened. What Israel is doing in Gaza today is a kind of an ethnic cleansing, destroying buildings, you know, high-rises like these high-rises where it's populated by civilian population. That's a war crime. Israel declared crime on Gaza, on a war on Gaza, and by killing civilians, that's a war crime. Mr. Bibi Netanyahu and his cabinets should realize that. He was told by the United Nations Secretary General, you know. That's what's happening right now. It's a kind of an ethnic cleansing, driving the Palestinians.
Kind of a genocide, in your opinion?
Well, it's an ethnic cleansing.
Ethnic cleansing.
That's what's happening right now.
Because you're basically cousins, right? I mean, when you go way back.
The problem, I don't think the problem is between Judaism and Islam or Christianity. Palestinians before 1948, they did have Jews in them. Jews, Muslims, and Christians. So they were there in Palestine.
I'm showing you, and I'm putting it this way because the microphone's this way so we can be heard.
Okay, it's
so,
all right,
I wanted everybody to see who I'm sitting and talking to.
No, it's all right.
Sir,
the people has to know. The people in the United States knows, because the media is a little bit biased. The media is not just a little bit biased. The media
That's why I'm out here.
It's way biased.
That's why I'm out here.
It's controlled media.
Yes.
When Israelis fell victims, you know, then they are on the headlines of the news. When Palestinians fell, you know, they get killed in the West Bank, in Gaza. We don't mention, no news about them. This is what led to this. This is what led
to this.
30 years since Oslo, when President
the Oslo Accord, right?
Bill Clinton, Secretary of State at that time. No, it's back in 1993. 1993, when the Oslo Accords were signed, Arafat was there, Yitzhak Rabin was there. We were hopeful for a solution to the Palestine issue, two-state solution.
Right.
30 years passed and nothing changed.
Yeah.
Nothing changed on the grounds. More settlements on the West Bank, more settlements. The settlers were about 80,000 to 100,000 in 1993. Today are 700,000 settlers on the West Bank, armed to the teeth.
Armed to
the teeth, yes, sir. And they attack Palestinians' olive groves. They attack Palestinian towns and villages, and they burn them. Nobody is looking at that. We don't see that on the news.
Right.
We have a reporter, an American reporter, Shireen Abu Akleh, was killed by the IDF.
Right.
She was an American citizen too, but no investigation, real investigation took care of that issue. They just wrapped it up,
Can there be peace?
Well, peace can be achieved only, you cannot have somebody has more powerful. Peace has to be
mutual,
unequal powers.
Yeah.
You don't just want to enforce in me your conditions and then here is your condition.
Right.
That's what's happening in the West Bank under the authority of the Palestinian Authority.
Okay.
The Palestinians don't have sovereignty Sorry.
That's all right.
They don't have sovereignty over the land. They don't have sovereignty over the borders. They don't have sovereignty on the skies. They're just sitting in an autonomous regions behind those walls that were built by the apartheid state of Israel.
Yeah.
All that wall, they're living in cantons. The people of the United States should go to Bethlehem. See the sad thing how the town of Bethlehem is in the situation in the town of Bethlehem. It's like what do you call it? Enclosed by walls. That's where Jesus Christ was born.
Right.
You know, the city of Bethlehem. Go to the towns and villages surrounding Jerusalem. It's all surrounded by walls. Hard to reach them. Checkpoints. They're driving, you know, and then the Israelis, they drive freely through the Palestinian towns on the West Bank, and you know, but the Palestinians cannot drive freely.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
That's what led to all this. And if the United States, because of the superpower, does not really work on recognizing the state of Palestine immediately, then there will not be peace in the Middle East. The European countries, including Germany, Great Britain, that created the issue of Palestine, they are the first to recognize the state of Palestine, including Germany, the United States, and Britain and France. There is no recognition except Sweden. Sweden is the only country in Europe that recognizes the state of Palestine.
Yeah.
Then how can you achieve peace if the United States
doesn't even recognize they exist?
But they have talks with Mr. Mahmoud Abbas. Mr. Blinken reached to the region. He's meeting with Mr. Abbas and King Abdullah of Jordan. You're gonna meet. What's the purpose of the meetings? Are we achieving real peace? The United States closed the mission of the Palestine Liberation Organization in Washington D.C.
Right.
But held talks with the leadership, with the Palestinian leadership. They closed the consulate in East Jerusalem on Nablus Road. The United States violated the law by moving the international law. I don't talk about the Congress law of 1994. They violated the international law by moving the embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem.
Right.
So see, that's against international law. You know, there was a resolution.
And it was a way of claiming Jerusalem.
Well, the issue of Jerusalem.
The
issue of Jerusalem is a big issue.
We need a whole episode on the issue of Jerusalem.
No, the issue of Jerusalem was there was a criteria to resolve the issue. What was called the corpus separatum. If you remember the United Nations, you know that we create what's called corpus separatum. That the city of Jerusalem has its
Palestinian parts.
No. One authority that runs the city of Jerusalem, the east side of Jerusalem and the west side of Jerusalem.
Okay.
Palestinians used to live on west side of Jerusalem, but they were driven out from West Jerusalem. A lot of them became refugees. They moved to the east side of Jerusalem. You know, that it's not that there is the East Jerusalem, and but what happened when there was the creation of the state of Israel, West Jerusalem became part of the state of Israel, and East Jerusalem was annexed to the Hashemite kingdom of Jordan or to Transjordan.
Right.
But that's what happened in the old city. And after 19 years, the 1967 war, that was who started the war in 1967 was the Israeli side, was not because Jamal Abdel Nasser, the president of Egypt, closed the Tiran Straits, if you remember that, and then there was that.
Yeah.
So that's all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for taking the time to talk with me.
Thank you, sir. What are you? Just
I'm a semi-retired. I'm now independent. I've worked for a lot of different media organizations, and I just do this because, like you said, the media gets skewed, and they have agendas. I like to show what's going on and let people decide for themselves.
Well, the people decide because we have Facebook, we have the media, we have the social media.
Right.
It's not controlled anymore by Newsweek, Time Magazine, Fox News, ABC, NBC, and CBS.
Yeah.
You know, back in I remember back in the 1980s when Peter Jennings, the Palestinian uprising of the 1980s. Peter Jennings, the Palestinian uprising used to be top headline in news in the United States.
Absolutely.
And that, became more controlled. You don't hear nothing about the Palestinian cause, which was not resolved.
I know.
They came, They brought Oslo 1993, they brought Arafat, they created the Palestinian Authority, but no peace was achieved, though,
Yeah.
because it was supposed within 5-year period, that an interim period of 5 years, autonomous region, autonomy, and then no creation of state. Still refugees, the Palestinians still refugees in the refugee camps in Jordan and all over the world.
Yeah.
Here you see them over here. They all came from these. Their fathers and grandfathers came from these villages, and thus you see them on this map. That's what happened.
Yeah.
You see what happened? Israel, modern state of Israel. The modern state of Israel is not the biblical state of Israel. What the Christians in the West believe that this is it's connected to the Bible, to the biblical. It's not. Zionism is different from Judaism. Zionism is a colonialist movement. Zionism was created by the West, imperialism and Zionism. That's known for historians and politicians who studies international law.
Yeah.
It's a colonialist movement,
Okay.
and it's a racist movement. John Bolton, there was a United Nations resolution. There was a United Nations resolution equating Zionism with racism. But when John Bolton, remember John Bolton?
Yeah.
He removed it when he became ambassador. When he became ambassador of the United States in the United Nations, they voted to remove it from the United Nations.
Yeah.
But Zionism as a movement is a colonialist, racist movement, and you cannot separate. Like creating an apartheid. Now what Israel is doing to itself, Israel is really hurting itself, creating an apartheid system. Because what we see in Israel is turning more to the right by the government, including Smotrich and Ben Gvir, the Minister of Interior, Smotrich, and Ben Gvir, the Security Minister. It's they putting themselves, that will not bring peace to them. They will not survive. I bet you that the state of Israel will not survive if it turns in that direction. If they want peace, they have to make peace with their neighbors, the Palestinians. And to live, either they can live in one state with equality for both sides, or if they don't like that situation, we can live in a two-state solution. Two-state solution is dying. There is no two-state solution because of the expansions of the settlements on the West Bank and on the West Bank especially, and in East Jerusalem too. So that two-state solution is aborted. Is aborted completely. It's not there anymore.
Totally aborted.
So what happened? Yes, what's happening right now? Israel has to make a choice. Israel has to make a choice. Either it makes peace with the Palestinians and on equal rights, or they can live in an apartheid system. That's what's happening right now.
Okay.
They cannot just cook 2.5 million in a place called the Gaza Strip, 2.5 million in 360 kilometers, smaller than the size of Marion County. 360 is smaller than Marion County, sir. If you look at Marion County, it might be 20 by 20 miles, which is 30 by 30, 900 square kilometers, or 20 by 20 is 400 square miles. The Gaza Strip is only 360 square kilometers, have 2.5 million people. Half of them are children. Half of them children under the age of 12. No jobs, no water, no clean water. It's salty. The water on Gaza is salty. The salt ratio controlled. The tap is controlled by Israel. The switch is controlled by Israel. So how these people live?
Yeah. All right.
Have a good day, sir.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you for sharing. Awesome. Great conversation that, well, you're not going to hear anywhere else, for sure.